welcome back to my channel. We are going to do another pro-con video. This time it's going to be about Fort Polk. So yeah, we are just going to jump right in. So Garrett, you want to go with our first pro?
So the first pro mainly is going to be for the military personnel. The leadership while I was there was really good. They really look after you. They really take care of you. Because there's a lot of fuel time that kind of comes with being at Fort Polk, but at least in my experience, I have had no real issue of like toxic leadership or anything like that.
So my number one pro was the food. Though there's not a lot of options, what they do have is good. Like there's this place, they have barbecue, it's called Bubbaques, and it is the best. They have really good jalapeno poppers that I think that they like, don't they?
Smoke them for 8 hours
yes,
before.
exactly. They smoke their jalapeno poppers for 8 hours. They have like brisket and all sorts of stuff. Like it's really good. And also Crawfish is there. So if you are at Fort Polk, you definitely need to eat crawfish like in the spring. So that's my number one pro.
Next would definitely be, you have year-round hunting in Louisiana. There's always something in season. So there's pretty good hunting. Waterfowl is decent. You have some pig, a good amount of pig, a lot of deer. You got some turkey rolling around. It's a good little spot. They also have really good fishing there. Toledo Bend is like what's known as the bass fishing capital of the world. Really good fishing there. Crazy fish come out of that lake. It's nuts. It goes all the way into Texas a little bit.
It's like 40 minutes away, right?
Yeah, it's not too far away, but it's definitely a plus.
Yes. And there's also, speaking of food, there's also a restaurant on Toledo Bend. It's called Tunks, and that's really good if you want some good seafood. So for me, Fort Polk was really close to home, and that was a big pro for me. But aside from that, it is an hour away from a city that has like pretty much everything. So Alexandria, like they have the movies, and there's a mall, and there's like a ton of food. Like there's any food that you can think of pretty much, like they pretty much have it there. And I'll list some really good places to eat, like for dinner or whatever, in the recommendations. But yeah, there's a lot of cities nearby, like Baton Rouge is, I think, like a little less than 3 hours away. Houston is like right on 3 hours. There's a bunch of cities around, casinos, all sorts of stuff. So, yeah.
It's very green in Louisiana. There's a lot of trees, very lush. You're just surrounded by forest, it seems, everywhere you go. In that area in particular, once you start heading towards Baton Rouge and places like that, so it starts to thin out more because you're getting into the city. But it's very green in Louisiana, and it stays very humid. So
yes, it is very humid. That is the truth. So I guess we'll get into the cons. For me, number one con, I know this is kind of negative, but there's nothing to do there. Back me up. There's nothing to do there. There's very little food. They got some good food.
They do. But
very few options, and there's like maybe a movie theater. There is a movie theater unless it's shut down. There's like a stage to shop at. There's a store called Nichols, which is like the only place really maybe you could go to find anything. Yeah, I don't know. For me, there's really nothing to do there.
There's a Walmart.
There's a Walmart, yeah. Lots of hunting, fishing, loving every day, like, for sure. But other than that, yeah, there's pretty much nothing to do there.
Yep.
Okay.
While there's nothing to do there are some traveling opportunities. You have Dallas, Houston, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Bossier, Shreveport, New Orleans. Like, there's some really good cities that are surrounding you. You just have to be willing to travel. So that's why it's still kind of a con. because you still have to be willing to travel those distances, because Houston's 2.5 hours, Dallas is about 3, New Orleans is
3,
pushing 4.
4, yeah. Dallas is pushing 4.
Yeah, it just depends on traffic in that day, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, it's long hours away there. He was away a lot. Like, he was in the field all the time. Luckily, it was super close to home for me, so like I was able to be close with my family. But if not, I think that it would have really sucked. Like, for me personally, just because he was away a lot and wouldn't come home until like, and I mean, maybe this is nothing to you, but sometimes he wouldn't come home until like 8 or 9 at night after leaving at 5 in the morning, you know? So it's just super, super long days. I don't know if you want to comment on that. Yeah, long work days for this guy here. Alright, so next con for me would be that it is a pretty old town and it's underdeveloped. This kind of goes back to me honestly saying that there's nothing to do. It's just that it is an old town, that's true. It's underdeveloped. Not much going on. Like, they have a downtown, and they have something, I think, in the spring, which is cool. Like, they'll have like a get together like in the downtown or whatever, which is nice. But other than that, like, that's it.
Yeah. So for the military personnel, JRTC is there, so it's right across the street, really. There are training areas that are literally still on post, so you could go in the field and still be on post and not like out in the training area. So the field environment is readily available for units to utilize there, and I will say the training opportunities there are great. Like, the amount of training that we got to do while I was there at Fort Polk was really great. It is a lot, but it definitely prepares you for what's ahead. I don't think necessarily it's a bad thing, but it is a lot of time away from home.
Overall, he loved it. We're here and we love it here, but he still says...
Yeah, we go back to Fort Polk.
But, I mean...
She doesn't.
There's nothing to do! There's nothing to do.
I don't care.
Oh my gosh.
It's a great town. It's quiet. In the middle of nowhere.
It's in the middle of nowhere, for sure. Yeah.
If we were to go back there, I'd live in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty cheap to live there. There are a lot of options. Another thing, like, there is Leesville, but there's also little cities on the outside, like Derrider, and, like, there was another one.
Derrider's not that bad. Derrider has some pretty
far.
nice homes up there.
Yeah.
You can get in some real good real estate up in Derrider. You just got to be willing to make the commute to work.
Yeah, and that's about 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's about 20-25 minutes, but it is worth it.
Yeah, and it's a straight shot, no lights even, like, highway.
And the traffic at the gate is, like, non-existent. So.
And actually, I forgot, yeah, Derrider actually has a cute little downtown. I think they even have a farmer's market, and
they
you
got
are
really
in
good
the
restaurants
south.
up there.
Yes, they do. What's that one called?
I'm not going to remember. There's a lot of them.
I'm gonna remember.
Derrider would be the place to be. It is pricier to live up there, but it's worth it. I wish I could have lived up there.
Cecils!
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Cecils. I had the best steak salad of my life there. I think about it all the time. It was so good. So basically, Fort Polk, it's just a small little town. It's not much to do there. You pretty much have to travel if you want to do anything, but they have good food. And it's pretty tight-knit, and it's pretty outside. So it's really not the worst place to be. But, yeah. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll come with another one here soon.